What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you for tuning in to another QCRC episode. I know this is a little bit different style of an intro than I normally do, but I had a bunch of time-lapse material here that it would kind of be monotonous if I just did it normal speed, so we're doing all this with a fast speed, taking apart the axles, adding the double shocks with the new shock mounts, and putting everything together. This has been quite the journey, but I love how this end result is coming out, and I can't wait to show you guys the final product. Moving under its own power is our goal in this video. Let's dive into it, boys. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button. All right, boys, we are in the shop this morning. We have the little transmission here in front of me, and this guy is not big enough to fit the 775 motor, so we have to do something about that. So with that being said, we have our culprit right here. I've taken a stab at this with a drill, and it looks like that's going to be the method. I have a beautiful little step bit right here that we're going to use to make this hole bigger, so our 775 motor fits flush into this hole right here. It's supposed to go in like this, and well, we just kind of hit everything here. So that's not going to work. We're going to have to take and slice this guy, make him bigger. And now, just like that, she mates up beautifully. Again, back to our time lapse, our axles came in. I ordered a dark gray axle to kind of offset this look and make it look different and stand out. I 3D printed some dual shock mounts, and they're seeming to be very nice. Steering was going to be my next concern. I didn't know if I was going to go axle on servo or axle on like our normal F450 servo kit, so that's to be decided very soon. Okay, we have our axles in, we have everything lined up here. I am confused about what I'm going to do on this center link here. I have bought these universal drive shafts just to test right here before we get the official links and go the MIP shafts. These are going to work pretty good and get us to where we need to be. As you can see, I have a mounting point here at my pinky and then a mounting point where the transmission is going to be. So we're going to go about right there, and that's going to be perfect. It's going to flex good and everything's kind of going to work in its favor. But as far as that goes, when connecting to the transmission to this center link and then to the rear, we have another one of these for the rear to the center. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do this. So that's our next thing, is we're working with dog bones to shafts. So this is where it gets a little tricky. See how this guy slides onto here. Okay, so that could be a valuable option where we just take this and slide him onto here. But then connecting this guy to the transmission is going to be a little difficult. Unless we slide this onto the trans and then it connects back to this, which is a strong possibility. So we're using the factory shaft here, got our drive line, and we are rolling, boys. We flex while the suspension's moving, everything works good. This still has active play, and we are beautiful. Angle is perfect, and this matches these beautifully. I love how that's all coming together. Just look at that, look at that. Just like that, that is amazing. All right, now time to do our front. Okay, talking servo, we have our servo mount kit mounted right up here at the top, like we usually have for the Senna 450s. I'm using a Reefs Raw 500 servo for this guy. Nice raw look, looks really good. I think it's going to match this build. I'm debating whether to go up here or to go on an axle mount. The axle mount doesn't look bad, but I'm going for that scale vibe. This also kind of does fit the vibe, so I'm not really sure how I'm feeling about that. And instead of using the normal little steering shaft here, we're going a different direction. These were the cool little scale looking steering stabilizers I got, and they come with a little Fox logo, so I thought that was super freaking cool. Definitely going to put that guy on here, and these are adjustable, so I thought that was cool as well. It just kind of fits more scale and looks more beefy than this, and the whole thing is metal. So we're going to install this here and go to our servo. Now, something to note when you do go to adjust this, inside of this guy right here, there's two little O-rings. Make sure they don't pop out or anything. I went ahead and just unscrew this all the way so I could have this free ability. And then also these are super loose, so I'm going to unscrew these and put some Loctite on here, just some glue to make sure they stay in place. But it adjusts nicely. You don't have a ton of adjustment. This is probably the maximum adjustment you're going to get out of this thing. As much as I am liking this piece, it is a little finicky to work with, so just kind of be careful putting it together. Our bushings in here and our little washers. If you want an easy way to do this, we put these little metal spacers in here. After the rubber, I just stick it on the end of one of these tools. This is the MIP little tools. Any of them work. And you can shove this guy right here, push him down just like that. I pushed a little too far. And just like that, it's easy to put it in there. You don't break your fingers, ruin your fingernail. It just goes in there super smooth. So this is my second reef servo, and let me say the quality is next to none. All right, boys, we have made solid progress on this unit. I apologize I didn't film absolutely every bit of it, but it was kind of just monotonous, screwing screws in together, adjusting the arms, and putting the axles in here. It was just kind of simple things that you guys have already seen. I did end up designing a dual bracket for the shock, though, so we can mount 2 shocks on here. I'm not exactly sold on it, but it does work pretty effectively at this moment. Again, I don't even know if I'm sold on the shock package. It does look pretty cool and it plays the part. I just don't know if I'm about it. I think it needs something that screams like more beefiness. I'm not entirely sure. And so with that being said, I don't know exactly what to use. I have some King shocks in front of me from RC Full Drive we might dive into. I might go ahead and order some more G-Made shocks to kind of match that silver vibe. Or I might go a completely new direction to me, and I have no idea. Brad dropped a good comment on one of our Instagram posts and said we should use these 8-scale shocks that I bought for the Raptor R, and we might just do that. That would probably not be a bad idea. I just don't know if they would exactly fit as, they didn't really fit on the Raptor R either. They don't really fit on anything, so shocks are next to figure out which I want to use, but now that we can dive into something else that I was kind of challenged with, and I'm super happy how it turned out. Going back and forth on motor and transmission setups, going back and forth with driveline ideas, spur gear, pinion size, everything you can imagine. So here in front of us, we have a general axial transmission like I spoke about. I had to cut 2 holes in here trying to get a perfect alignment. This is a 775 style Traxxas motor. It does not want to fit well in like a 550 size motor transmission. We're also connected at the back by the same style drive shaft. Everything is flowing very effectively, working very nice, and I can't promise this motor is going to stay in here, but I do know this size motor will be in the truck, so we had to make this size motor work. Whether I do a Mama Monster setup or I do 2 of these guys, I haven't decided yet. But overlooking everything so far, this is shaping up to be one beautiful build. All of the anodized parts, everything coming together and working beautifully. I also tossed the idea around of painting the chassis. I just don't feel that's needed. I mean, yeah, that would be super cool, but at the end of the day, this truck is meant to be a beautiful show truck at times, but it's also meant to be like just a beefy tow truck, and I want it to be able to be both worlds. So we have the nice aluminum parts on here to help add that like style aspect. I put some stuff on this wiring to keep it together and keep it all nice so it looks really nice, and just tying everything together, but I still want it to have that like I mean business vibe to it. All right, for right now, to get this guy up and rolling, this is the only brushed ESC I have in my collection that will work. I have a Spectrum Firma ESC, but I don't have a Spectrum radio, so this is going to be the guy we have to use. We're going to try to incorporate this with only 1 motor. I'm pretty sure we'll do that, but I'm not entirely sure. All right, here's our packaging. Pretty substandard here. Our little manual. Stickers and double-sided tape. We're going to be using Futaba 7PX for this journey. We just linked our receiver. We're going to go and make sure everything works. I'm not 110% that this is going to work. We're going to have to line our linkage up for our servo as well. I don't know where that's going to be sitting at. So let's go. We got steering. We have throttle. Go ahead and line our servo up to the best of our ability. That's probably pretty good right there. That's quality right there. Listen to that. It just sounds freaking professional. Electronics are go, boys. As you can see, when this was made exact scale to the picture right here on the Mega Ram runner. It's like just a 2-piece wheel, all custom made. The back is offset where the front is just standard. But with that being said, there is no way to tighten this nut from the front. So to keep in fashion of the Mega Ram runner, you're supposed to be able to take all of these apart. This guy comes off, you screw this kind of to the back of it, and then you put us all together with these lug nuts. So I don't really know if I want to continue with that, as it was a great thought at the time, but now I'm thinking of how really just inconvenient that is going to be over time if I ever have to work on or maintenance this truck.
Eternity later.
So looking inside this wheel, you can see this. We have this piece over top that kind of just perfectly aligns and sits in there. followed by these nuts to give us the adaptable spacer, where this one was sitting, you know, more so flush like this, and the back right here is offset. So we're just going to go ahead and assemble this the way I kind of envisioned it, and I'm going to just put this together like this, maybe leave the cap off for right now until I know everything's in place, just so this is a lot easier to take on and off. Next task is assembling the front grille piece to the body, like so. I got to get up in here, get some JB Weld going. I wanted this to look separate, just kind of like it was two pieces molded together, which it will be. That's why I didn't mold it all in one, because it kind of wouldn't be that realistic. So trying to keep a gap in here. We're going to go ahead and mold this. I have some instant JB Weld set up on this little thing, and we're going to go ahead and go about putting this guy together. Guys, we are in the garage, about to pull out the garage with the Mega Cummins. I am freaking excited. This is a first maiden voyage. I see a few potential issues where the body doesn't line up 110%, but I just want to get this thing on the ground, rolling and driving, and I'm super excited to show you guys. Let's just drive it. Let's drive it.